If you fly drones in quiet suburbs long enough, eventually you will unlock the final boss of humanity, the HOA Karen. These are the people who think that HOA bylaws are federal law and that the sky above their hydrangeas is restricted airspace, personally owned by them. In this video, we're counting down the top 7 types of HOA Karen that absolutely hate your drone. And make sure you stick around for number 1 because she doesn't just complain, she sends emails. Let's get into it. Hey, I'm Sarah, and I help drone pilots get paid to fly instead of just arguing with strangers in a cul-de-sac. A while ago, I made a video about drone Karen, for people that lose their mind the instant your drone leaves the ground. And I had a lot of people who could relate, which tells me you all have seen something. And one comment stood out in particular, which was, do one for HOAs, because those people are just different. So I've done some research and here we go. Drone Karens 2, the HOA edition, as a countdown from number 7 all the way down to number 1. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not the FAA. This is not legal advice. Always follow FAA rules and check your local and state laws. Cool? Let's start the countdown. At number 7, we have the sky is private property Karen. This Karen truly believes that her property line does not stop at the fence. It goes all the way up to space. Her signature line is, excuse me, you cannot fly over my house. I own that air. It is private property. Man, are you having the same discussion with the birds and the airlines? In reality, in most situations, the national airspace is regulated by the FAA, not by your neighborhood Facebook admin. But this Karen's weapon of choice is confidently shouting made-up phrases at you until you start to doubt your own name. And I get it. It can be uncomfortable. So here's how to handle it. Stay calm. Don't argue air law on the sidewalk. A simple line like, I'm operating under FAA guidelines, I'm just wrapping up and I'll be out of here in a minute, is usually enough. And if she's escalating, just move, land, or relocate. No single shot is worth a full-out meltdown. At number 6, we've got the Privacy Princess. This one is convinced that your little drone is a CIA surveillance platform locked into her patio furniture. She'll hit you with, are you recording me without my consent? That's illegal. Meanwhile, you're 200 feet up, trying to get a roof inspection for a paying client. Now, privacy is a legit concern, and every pilot should be respectful. But a lot of these freakouts come from not understanding what the drone actually sees. At a couple hundred feet up, I can barely tell if your dog is a horse or a golden retriever. And I am definitely not zooming in on your text messages. So how to handle it? Don't be snarky back, even though it may be tempting. Keep it short. I'm just capturing this roof, not you or your family. If it feels safe, you can even offer to show her the live feed. Sometimes that can instantly calm people down. If not, finish the shot, wrap up, and move on. And yes, these are going to get more intense as we go. At number 5, we have the Airspace Gatekeeper. This is a Karen who discovers one Airspace app, clicks 3 buttons, and decides she's air traffic control. She'll march up and say, this is controlled airspace. You are not allowed to fly here. Meanwhile, you're standing in the middle of Class G thinking, ma'am, the only thing controlled here is your HOA Facebook group. Sometimes she'll shove a phone in your face with a random map screenshot and insist it means you're breaking the law. How to handle it? First, you should actually know your airspace before you fly. Have your LANS approval or any other authorization handy. Then calmly say, I've checked the airspace and I'm authorized to fly here, but I'll be wrapping up shortly. And then, you guessed it, finish up the work and get out. You'll see a common theme. Coming in at number 4, we've got the Bylaw Enforcer. And this Kevin has read the HOA handbook from front to back, just like it's a sacred scripture. And he's ready to quote it at you, even when it doesn't actually say what he thinks it says. He'll hit you with section 4, subsection B. It says no recreational flying devices in common areas. And you're like, that section is about kites from 1997. His greatest hits include against HOA policy. We'll be issuing a fine, or I'll be bringing this up at the next board meeting. How to handle it? Call me, ask, can you show me where that's written? If you're flying commercially for a client, have written permission from that property owner and a simple job description ready to show. And if he really wants to escalate, suggest that he bring it up properly at a board meeting instead of screaming at you in a parking lot. Spoiler, he was absolutely going to bring it up at the board meeting anyway. Now, number 3 is where things start to feel a little more serious. This Karen's ultimate move is, I'm calling the police. Sometimes she leads with it. Sometimes she builds up to it, like a final attack in a boss fight. You can't do that here. I'm calling the cops. Okay, Thanos, snap your fingers then. You're following FAA rules and being respectful. A lot of officers honestly just want to make sure everyone calms and that no one is doing anything obviously dangerous. So how to handle it if the cops actually show up? Be polite. Land the drone if they ask. Explain what you're doing. calmly and confidently. If it's a paid job, show your work order, an email, or the text from the client who hired you. HOA Karen wants drama. You want to look like a professional, not a random kid sending it for a TikTok. At number 2, we have the neighborhood dad group president. He may not confront you in person at all. And we're back to a Kevin here, because his battlefield is a private Facebook group. You'll leave the job thinking everything was fine. Meanwhile, he's at his laptop posting. PSA, does anyone know who this person is flying a drone over our neighborhood? Not comfortable with this at all. I'll be contacting the HOA. Q47 comments from people who weren't even there. How to handle it. If a client or board member forwards you the post, give them a simple professional response so they can share. This was a licensed drone pilot hired by client to photograph roof/construction site/whatever else the subject was. No identifiable images of residents were captured. And then log off. Do not engage in a comment war. You will not win against the algorithm of drama. And at number 1, the final boss of HOA Karens and Kevins, the HOA board boss Karen. This one isn't yelling from her driveway. She's sitting on the board, sending emails with phrases like cease and desist, violation of community policy, or further action may be taken. Even when there's absolutely nowhere in the bylaws that drones are mentioned. Her power isn't volume, it's paperwork and aggressive email threads. Now, how to handle it? If you're doing recurring work in a neighborhood, like construction updates or regular listing photos, try to set up one proactive conversation with the board or property manager. Something like, here's what our drone flights will look like, how often we'll be flying, and exactly what we're capturing. Bring a simple one-page PDF explaining safety, FAA compliance, and privacy. The more official and predictable you look, the less they see you as a random stranger with a spy toy, and the more they see you as the contractor we may have to tolerate by law. That's the final boss. Okay. Real talk for a second. HOA Karens are annoying, but they're also a symptom. Most people still have no idea what the laws actually are or what drones are even capable of. So, as pilots, especially if you're trying to build a business, every interaction is a chance to either confirm their worst fears, the drone people are so weird and sketchy, or flip the script. That wasn't so bad. They were actually respectful and professional. You're not just flying a drone. You're also training people in that neighborhood how to feel about drones and drone pilots. All right. Your turn. What's the worst HOA Karen or Kevin you've ever dealt with? Drop it in the comments. I might do a whole video just reading your stories. If you feel emotionally seen, hit like and subscribe, and check out my original Drone Karens video next. And if you want to go from arguing with Karens in a cul-de-sac to actually getting paid to fly, check out the link below for the drone launch box with everything that you need to turn your little drone into recurring monthly income. Fly safe, stay legal, and may your next HOA encounter be someone quietly watching you and thinking, wow, that's cool. Hope you get time to fly today.